South Africa is only 32 years old. Before you blame South Africa, I want you to do something that history rarely asks us to do. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you are born into a country where your skin color decides your future. Imagine your parents being treated as strangers in the land of their ancestors. Imagine your grandparents forced from their homes. Imagine children watching fathers arrested, mothers humiliated, and families separated, not because they committed a crime, but because of who they were. Now, imagine that this continues for decades. Then one morning, the law changes. The world celebrates. People say South Africa is free. But let me ask you something. Can freedom erase trauma? Can one election repair generations of pain? Can 32 years rebuild what was destroyed over many decades? South Africa's democracy is only 32 years. To history, that is not a long time. Yet many people speak about South Africa as if it has had centuries to recover. The truth is, millions of black South Africans are still living with the consequences of a system that was designed to keep them poor, divided, and without opportunity. Many families are trying to build wealth their parents were never allowed to create. Many communities are still trying to recover from wounds that cannot be seen, because trauma does not disappear when governments change. It is passed from one generation to another. Now ask yourself another question. When people lose their land, when they lose opportunities, when they lose wealth, what do you protect the most? Their identity, their culture, their language, their families, their women, their children. For many black South Africans, these are among the few treasures that survive decades of oppression. So when communities already carrying deep pain feel that crime, gangs, drugs, exploitation, or violence are threatening the next generation they are trying to raise, those fears become even more intense. Whether every fear is justified or not, those emotions are real to the people living through them. That is why this conversation cannot be reduced to one word. It cannot be reduced to one headline, and it cannot be solved by blaming an entire nation. This does not mean violence against anyone is acceptable. It is not. No African should fear another African. No family should lose a loved one because of hate. Every person deserves dignity, justice, and safety. But understanding is not the same as excusing. If we ignore history, we will never understand the present. Africa stood with South Africa during apartheid. Many countries welcomed South Africans. Many leaders sacrificed. Many ordinary Africans believed that freedom of South Africa would be the victory of all Africa. That history should never be forgotten. Today, South Africa does not need Africa's condemnation alone. It also needs Africa's understanding. It needs honest conversations. It needs investment. It needs jobs. It needs healing. And it needs brothers and sisters who remember where the journey began. South Africans also have a responsibility. The pain of yesterday must never become the pain of innocent people today. History explains suffering, but it must never be used to justify harming others. Healing means protecting both your own people and those who come in peace. Imagine a child who watched apartheid. That child is now a parent. Imagine a teenager who grew up hearing stories of forced removals. That teenager is now raising children. The scars did not disappear, they simply changed generations. So before we rush to judge South Africa, maybe we should first ask a different question. If your country had been broken for generations, how long would it take to rebuild? Would 32 years be enough? Or would you still be trying to heal? I'm asking you not to ignore South Africa's history, because understanding does not weaken justice, it strengthens it. Maybe the future of Africa will not be decided by who blames whom. Maybe it will be decided by whether we choose to understand one another. So, I leave you with this question. If you were born into South Africa's history, would you be different? Or would you still be searching for healing? Tell me what I have missed. Tell me where you agree. Tell me where you disagree, because this conversation belongs to every African, and perhaps the next chapter of South Africa's story will not be written by politicians. It will be written by Africans who choose understanding over division.